Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another collab. Do you know what I'm saying? And we're back again here with Alex. I think might be the first time on the channel, Alex, or maybe second time. I don't even know.
First invitation, I think, actually is the word, Matisse.
Shocking.
Yeah.
That's horrendous.
You've been on the COP TV like, I don't know, 7 or 8 times probably. And this is my first time on your channel. You should be.
Now you're being dramatic there, bro. It's definitely not 7, 8 times. I'm gonna go with like a strong 3 or 4. Strong 3 or 4.
I reckon
bro.
You've been on at least 5 times, bro. At least.
I'm gonna go.
Played you a lot, bro.
Really?
Think how many times we've played.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah. Cup finals and everything. Bloody hell. Well,
you.
guys, listen. Make sure that you're subscribed to COP TV. Do you know what I mean? Link is going to be description. Link is going to be in the title. It's a pleasure. We do so much work on DR, and now finally on my platform as well. The two teams. I mean, this is probably the worst time to bring you on because the two teams are so bad. So
maybe
poor.
The best time.
Yeah, I mean the best time for definitely. I think I've maybe done this on the best time for me. The two teams are absolutely horrendous at the moment. The form speaks for itself. I've been watching a lot of Liverpool games, obviously Chelsea, and it's not looking good, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? What's your confidence levels before we go into the tactics and the teams and whatnot? What's your confidence levels going into a game like this? Because we're both ninth and 10th, mid-table clash.
It's just, if someone said to you a year ago, there's going to be a massive 9th and 10th. Two big teams are going to fall to 9th and 10th respectively. Who do you think they're going to be? If I'm honest, do you know what? Chelsea might have been there, if I'm honest, because of just what's been good. It's just madness that's ensued at Chelsea in the last 18 months. No stability on the pitch, which is understandable really when you consider all the changes off of it. Yeah. But if someone had said 9 and 10th, two big teams, who will it be? I wouldn't have put us in there. But that is the reality, and the early kickoff on Saturday is a mid-table clash, quite literally, between two giants. And the confidence going into it, well, Premier League-wise, it's awful. I mean, we haven't beaten Fulham, Brentford, or Brighton this season in our games that we've played against them. We're behind all of them. Got a lot of work to do. However, the midweek performance did, on my birthday, which helped, did put a little bit more confidence back in to things, only because realistically, if you look at where Liverpool have been falling down, it is the midfield. And I was pretty much expecting us to lose the midfield battle, at least, maybe not lose the game, but the midfield battle against Wolves. When you look at Matisse, Nunez, Neves, Moutinho, they've got it's a very, very good midfield, really, on paper. So we actually beat them in terms of the midfield battle, I would say. Stefan Bajčetić was unbelievable. I was a big fan of Thiago's work on the night, and as well as Harvey with the goal. But that was in a cup, so we need to see a big performance. It's going to be at Anfield. It will be. I mean, I'm in Liverpool now. If it's like this on Saturday, then we're going to have a good game, because I don't know if you can see, but the sun is out big time.
I see it. Yeah, the sun's out in London as well. It's looking all right.
It's cold. It's cold in Arras. However. Liverpool's on the seaside, if you like, on the coast, so the wind is always there. So I'm just trying to imagine, if I was playing in that game, 12:30 Saturday, how do you get yourself up for such an early kickoff? Don't forget, fans will be traveling from all over to get there. I just hope the atmosphere suits the occasion, because we have to win this game, bro.
Yeah, I think going into it as well, I'm looking at your performance midweek, and it was actually a lot better from Liverpool. More boring, not as end-to-end, not as exciting, but from your standpoint, exactly what was kind of needed.
That's how you reset things, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're on a losing streak, you would take a 1-0 clean sheet. That's a good first step to reset. And then you just try and better that as the weeks go on. But bro,
I think Bajčetić was key to that. He has to. We were saying it on your channel. He has to start. He was instrumental in that win. Press resistant, able to receive the ball under pressure, but also winning the ball and actually just having the legs. Again, we're talking about the legs to cope, and deal with situations and not get stretched. Yeah, because you guys really, since the World Cup, have been very open. Very easy to bypass the midfield and then run at defenders 1v1, or the position is not being quite right. The offside trap, I don't know what's been going on sometimes. Matip, for one of the goals against Leicester, was kind of missing. And then Van Dijk is trying to clean up. Obviously, he's now injured. You guys defensively have been all over the place. And usually people will be looking, oh, it must be Trent. It hasn't been really Trent at all. No. It's been the centre-backs Even Tsimikas in the game that he played, he was giving the ball away in his half. And for us, it's exactly the same thing. We're all over the shop. So I guess when you look at the two teams and you're going into the game, obviously speak about the early kickoff, the fans, whether they'll be up for it. Obviously, you've got home advantage. For Chelsea, on our side, we're looking at it and thinking it's kind of your game. In my opinion, it's your game to kind of set the tempo, set the pace, set the tactics. How are you going to, be stylistically? And then we kind of try and match that. What would you want Klopp to do, I guess, tactically, formation-wise or approach-wise? Do you want to see what you saw against Wolves, which wasn't the most exhilarating, breathtaking performance, but very resolute, compact, and obviously Bajčetić was brilliant in there.
Yeah, it's nice that you mentioned Bajčetić. It's nice to see another fan analyze him like you have there. He looks like he's got everything, really, from what I've seen. I think the first time I saw him was pre-season at Anfield against Strasbourg. And I think he won the ball back off from losing it, which makes it even more impressive. So first, you know what they say, if you lose the ball, first 5 seconds, get it back. Yeah. He got it back, looked up and sprayed this 60-yard pinger out that just went over. It was low enough that it just floated over the guy's head who jumped for it. And I looked at him and thought, wow, this guy, and it surprised me as well, he's 6'1", Yeah. He comes from good footballing families, played with Thiago's dad at Celta Vigo. So the fact that he's got Thiago next to him is the best teacher you could have, I think, in that role of being a technician, but also gritty, and Thiago's kind of ball possession, one back stats are unreal. But yeah, I think you're right. It's our game to impose onto you, really. Tactically, I don't think Klopp has to change the formation. I just want him, and the message that I want him to deliver to the players is just, let's go for this. I think I think we're going to be buoyed by a couple of names coming back into the squad. I hope Firmino is one of them. I hope Nunez is one of them. And I just want him to say, look, let's go at these from minute one. We've got nothing to lose apart from, well, we've got the game to lose, obviously. But apart from, we have got a lot to lose. But that saying is like, treat it as if you've got nothing to lose.
Is the season, because for a lot of Chelsea fans, they've been trying to. I've been shutting down Champions League hopes immediately since probably a few weeks ago in terms of results. I mean, when you look at how many points we have to accumulate now in terms of wins, we would have to go on a ridiculous run to have any sort of opportunity to get back into Champions League. Do you guys still feel like you can get into the Champions League? Is that still a hope? Is that something that you're still aiming for, or is it kind of at this point right off of a season league-wise? Because you're right next to us, but it feels like you guys have got completely different mindset in terms of going forward for the rest of the season, despite how close we are on the table.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would say if we don't win on Saturday, I think then it's really off the top 4. There's probably a glimmer of hope. Listen, we are still only halfway through. I feel like people, we forgot the fact that there was a World Cup almost, and it's been sandwiched in between really tough fixtures either side. But I think if we don't beat Chelsea at home on Saturday, which would, like I said, be a good reset for the league. I mean, we won 4 games in a row before we lost 2 in a row. So form-wise, going into that, we were on a good run, and we can put together those 5 to 10 winning runs. But yeah, this was why this game on Saturday is so big, man. Like everything's on the line. The reason I said play like you've got nothing to lose is you might as well go for it. Everything's really siding with you in terms of the injuries for them, the lack of form. We've got big players coming back. It's kind of making us favourites, which is sometimes a dangerous position to be in. But just play like you're top of the league. I know it's difficult, but play like you're free flowing. Don't let the form show.
Yeah, I think for us as well, that's kind of the mindset is you just have to take each game as not a free hit, because we do need points. And I think for Potter, it's a massive opportunity to try and make a statement against a top 6 team, because that's what these teams are still are, known as, despite the league position and his performances and I guess his managerial credentials against Man City in the Chelsea dugout and against Arsenal and Manchester United still leaves a lot to be desired in terms of in-game substitutions, set up, going toe-to-toe with the best. So even though the form is poor from Liverpool, this is still a massive game, and it's still an opportunity to make a statement, go to Anfield, pick up some points. And we've gone through obviously previous fixtures between the two teams. It's always been pretty close in recent times. Obviously, the 2 cup finals went to penalties.
Won 2 in 15 against us.
2 in 15.
I think. Well, we did it on my show, didn't we? I read that stat out earlier.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
To be fair, you had just woken up.
2 and 15 sounds a bit mad.
2 and 15, yeah. And one of them was the what's it called? The 1-0 at Anfield, Mason Mount in lockdown with no fans in.
Christ, see, I was trying to paint the narrative that this was a close thing, and you're gonna go.
If you literally just type in Liverpool Chelsea on Google and you press timeline, it shows you all the shit. I think I'm pretty sure it is. That's what I saw. That's what I read out.
Because everything I'm remembering of recent is the draw at Anfield.
There's been a lot of draws though, bro.
There's been a lot of draws, yeah. So I'm just thinking of the draws. I'm not thinking of that. That sounds like an alarming stat. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I can't remember too many wins at Anfield of recent times, to be fair. That Mason Mount one in lockdown is.
But we also have played against each other 15 times in the last probably
3 years, 4 years,
4 or 5 years. Yeah,
yeah. We've played a lot of fixtures.
We've played against you. Just go back to your childhood and think from 2004 to 2000, and I would say 12. I know that is an 8-year period, but think about obviously all the league games. Played you in a League Cup final, Champions League semi-final and quarter-final 3 years in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Played you in the FA Cup final when you beat us. FA Cup semi-final in 06. Community Shield. Bro, we have played each other so much. It's a joke.
Yeah. No, we've played each other so much. Like, you're right. Champions... in that run, in that time period recently, we haven't even played each other in the Champions League, which is nuts.
Thank God for that, though. I used to hate watching those games. Those
games were great. Those games
were great. Amazing. Let's not forget the
games.
Ghost goal year. The year after that, I think we had each other in the group stage of the Champions League in 05-06.
Yeah.
06-07.
You're not even meant to be playing. I mean, now you can't get the same country.
06-07, the Aga goal at Anfield, the Joe Cole or Lampard goal at Stamford Bridge, and then penalties. Couch scored the winner.
We had a 4-4 as well.
And then the year after, so 07-08, you beat us. It was when Lampard's mum died and he celebrated.
3-1 at Anfield as well.
You beat us 3-1 at Anfield.
Yeah. Ivanovic had some big goals at Anfield. Yeah.
And then the return leg was 4-4.
Yeah.
And then
Fabio Radio with the goal.
Yeah, and we've played you in hella FA Cup games, hella league. I think the other game is the FA Cup game that you beat us in. I was at that one.
Yeah, Drogba, Andy Carroll, I think, was playing as well.
Yeah. So off the line. Madness. So in that 7-year period, bro, I was sick of the sight of Chelsea, though.
and you're going to see us again. And one person that we are also, I'm looking forward to seeing is Mr. Chaos himself. Expected Chaos.
If he's
Nunez,
back,
he's back. If he's back, if he's back, because what do you make of his time so far, Nunez? Because obviously we've seen Diaz, great start, now injured. Jota, great start, minutes to goals ratio, injured. Salah, his career speaks for itself at Liverpool. Gakpo, very, very tough start, but I think personally probably playing out of position as well up front, probably needs to go back to the left flank, but we know you've got injuries there. People are already onto his case as well.
Bro, that needs to, honestly, listen, out of all the chances that he's had in these 3 games, a goal would have been nice, but there's no way I'm getting into this writing someone off after 200 odd minutes of football. Like, come on, man. Yeah, and Nunez, I mean, I love the boy. I'm one of his biggest fans that you'll find. I see something in him that tells me this is a long-term project, and we're going to see next year the real Nunez once he sharpens up his tools a little bit more, because he does need to start putting away the chances that he's getting. But all the signs are telling me that this kid is going to score buckets and buckets and buckets of goals for Liverpool. Yes, there's things I could have changed, but everything happens for a reason. And I think, like I said, next year he could get somewhere between 30 to 40 goals.
Yeah. Well,
I think he's that good.
30 to 40? Really? You think he's got that in him?
Yeah, because look now, he scored 10 in 23. He's missed 17 big chances, the most in the Prem.
Yeah.
Let's say so that's 27 if he did score those. Let's say he scores
all of them, yeah.
Oh, let's say he scores 10 out of 17. Once this is what I'm saying, once he sharpens his tools up, refines it over the preseason, then we'd be on 20 odd, and then we've still got half the season to go. I think in all comps he could get a 30 to 40 tally next year for sure. And I'm looking at him, how I looked at Suarez the first couple of weeks when he joined. Wasn't prolific. I think
Suarez was a much better footballer though, wasn't he? In terms of his close control, skill, dribbling, all that.
He was still our out and out striker, so you still needed him to score. And I think in his first season he maybe scored from January to May, like 6 or 7.
Mm.
And then it was the year after we were like, wow.
Also had Andy Carroll there as well to kind of maybe
Yeah,
shoulder some of the burden,
for sure.
which
But
helps.
the chances that fella's going to get the pace he's got, the assist that he'll get as well, like we saw against Villa, how he just...
You might be the most confident Liverpool fan I've spoken to about this Nunez person.
Yeah, but the other ones are probably James, who every week on the Cop TV is slagging him off. And I don't know who else you speak to, but I'm just thinking long term with this guy.
Okay. But it's good to hear confidence on Nunez for once, because there's not much confidence around Nunez. Obviously, he's not the best. He's not the best to watch either. He's very scattered.
No, for sure, but he's going to be a goal machine. I guarantee it, bro. We can come back to this video in a year when he's got a hat trick. He needs a couple more goals, obviously, but I do think if he starts on Saturday, him against maybe Bajčetić, who again hasn't got Premier League experience. Obviously, he'll have Thiago Silva next to him, but
yeah,
bro, this guy is going to explode one day soon.
Okay, well, it's interesting to see what happens with him. Also, defensively, I mean, we've spoke about it, but individuals-wise, I'm guessing, Cato, who played very well midweek, will I don't know, maybe he'll start Henderson. There's some big decisions for Klopp to make in that midfield. Yeah. If he reverts back to the tried and tested midfield that he's already gone with, and they don't perform, that will be more questions asked for me personally on him, because it's like you've just seen now a working formula midweek, and then you go back to what you know in terms of Fabinho, Henderson, and say you were to get run ragged, it would be a bit mad. But defensively as well, what about the centre backs? Because I think fullbacks wise, yes, Trent was caught out maybe against Matoma, against Brighton, but again, most of the time he's been a lot better defensively, a lot more aware. I'd say his awareness is a lot better than it used to be before the World Cup. Robertson, I'm sure he'll sort himself out. But centre backs wise, are you any worries with your centre backs? Because against Brighton, you guys were all over the place without Van Dijk, and then even when Van Dijk is in there, I mean, you guys have been all over the place.
Yeah, I'd agree with you in saying that Trent has been our best midfielder since the World Cup, but in that game, I don't know what happened. He almost regressed slightly with some of the early moments with Matoma. Gomez has obviously got absolutely spun by Welbeck, and Konate and Matip. I just feel like they are our two centre-backs, best ones at the minute, with Van Dijk out. But we've got to get away from this thing of, whoever we put next to Van Dijk, it will be fine. We've got to get away from that and actually say, well, if Van Dijk isn't there, then Konate and Matip, can they now perform as a very solid, communicative partnership that doesn't have to rely on Van Dijk? And the answer to that was definitely no against Brentford, definitely no against Brighton. So they've got I don't know what they've got to do, maybe spend more time with each other. They both speak French, so it shouldn't be an issue really. But individually, they're both unbelievable defenders, man. And that's why I know they're going to come good, but it's more, when's the gelling gonna start happening? Because it's natural, it happens over time. And I think if Van Dijk is out for the next 3 weeks, they're going to have games to try and better that. So I saw him at the World Cup, Konate, and he impressed me even more than he had so far at Liverpool. Hasn't really put a foot wrong apart from that Brentford game. But Matip as well, again, unbelievable defender on his day. So they've just got to keep whoever you put up front quiet, basically, on Saturday.
Is it for Liverpool? Obviously, for Chelsea, we're in a rebuild. We're bringing in a lot of players. We're going to get rid of hopefully a lot of players. Is it wholesale changes needed at Liverpool, or is it just
in the summer?
Yeah, like how many players are you looking at in that squad? You don't have to go through the names, but how many players are you looking at that squad and saying he needs to leave, he needs to leave, he needs to leave, this needs to come in? This, like, how many ins and outs are you thinking Liverpool are from competing again?
It's mad because I think all of the outgoings are midfielders. So if we're honest, I think Milno leaves for free, Keita leaves for free, the Ox leaves for free. You could potentially see a loan deal for maybe one or two of the others. We've obviously got Tyler Morton, Stefan Bajčetić, Elliott's there, Curtis Jones is there, Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho. That just needs like 4 or 5 gone, 3 to 4 gone actually, and probably 2 to 3 in that area. But and I'd say Nat Phillips will probably also go as well, which I'm happy for him because I really rate him and I think he needs and he deserves more time at a Premier League club to play. And I think that's about it. up front wise, we've got 6 ballers there, so we don't need to worry about that.
I don't know about ballers. But you got six guys up there.
Who's not a baller in our front 6?
I wouldn't say Nunez is a baller. If we're talking about
Nunez
ballers,
is a baller. Come on, man.
I don't know if Gakpo is a baller. If we're talking about ballers,
bro.
Come on.
Relax yourself. How are you saying these guys are not ballers?
Felix is a baller. Talking about ballers.
Not for Atletico, he wasn't.
Technically, these, I don't know about these guys ballers, but they're good players.
I know what you, but they're
Klopp.
Okay, let's define ballers.
Sure, Klopp will get the best out of them, I'm sure.
Let's do ballers in your brain is probably Wayne Rooney Street Striker. If you're on that,
exactly, FIFA Street.
Yeah, but that's not real life, is it?
All I know is that if you used to take Nunez and Gakpo specifically, because I was never excited about the Gakpo kind of hype. I know Gakpo's been doing well in the Dutch league, but I always said to Man United fans, don't get too disappointed on Gakpo purely because I don't think A, Man United needed him, and B, I don't think his hype is going to translate as well as it was in the Dutch league. But if
how about this though?
But Nunez and Gakpo, if there's any manager I give them to, is Klopp. I think Klopp is more important than those individuals. Yeah, exactly. But if you used to put those 2 players in the Chelsea team, they would flop outright. No questions asked.
100%. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think scores more goals by the end of the season, Felix or Gakpo?
Gakpo. Well, it should be Gakpo. He's a goal scorer. Felix is not a goal scorer.
Felix is a baller.
No, he's a baller. He's a creator.
I know he's not a goal scorer, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, of course. Gakpo should, because Gakpo is a goal scorer. Gakpo is not a creator, and we're starting to. We've seen that already.
Gakpo can do anything, mate.
Nah, I don't know about that, man. I don't know. We'll have to see. Listen, if it wasn't for Klopp, I would be very wary for these players. But Klopp is the perfect manager to get the best out of these forwards.
Yeah.
To finalize though, not just on this game. There's a little battle going on in the transfer market. We've already fended off Arsenal with our big wallets and big.
Leave this one to us. I know what you're gonna say.
Caicedo.
I know what you're gonna say.
Caicedo.
Listen,
we cover those transfers on DR Sports. You already know what this
is. Of course. I'm well versed. The thing for me is, right. Sorry, my dog's walking around being a bit of a nuisance. The thing for me is, why would you take all of Brighton's scouts to then become the anti-scouters? Find your own targets, bro. Go to South America. Go to Asia. I'm sure there's a couple dons in Australia that you could find. Like, do your work without having to look across your shoulder. My friend at uni the other day at my little birthday drink, she's like, "Oh, Alex used to copy all my homework at uni. But the result I got, I shouldn't have done it because you got the same result as me and it didn't work out for both of us. Should have done my own thing." But and she's lying as well, to be fair, because I did a bit better than her. But find your own targets, bro. Moises Caicedo, admittedly, isn't our. We didn't scout him. We didn't go to Ecuador and find that little gem.
Yeah.
But the question that I ask myself every single time when I hear Chelsea are in.
Oh, your mic. Just as easy we was going to slander Chelsea, of course, we had to interfere with the mic and we had to stop that. Cut that straight out. Yeah, chop that. It wasn't an edit. It was Todd Bowie rocking in London Cowboys FC, moving stronger.
Here's my question, though. This is what I ask myself every time I see Chelsea linked with a player. And I go, do they need them, though?
We do need a midfielder. 2.
Him, though? No.
We need midfielders just as much as you do. We need a Caicedo. We need an Enzo Fernandez. Yes, we do. We do need midfielders just as much as you do.
Your dons are aging.
Yeah, they are. Injury prone as well. Cover, injury prone. Kante, injury prone.
What's this about Kante in training, by the way? He ain't coming back, is he? Because he always plays well against Liverpool.
No, he's definitely not. Listen, good. I know I haven't spoken about it on my channel purely because I'm not trying to dwell up some massive excitement around these players before I can see that they can keep themselves fit. James is back in training. Chilwell's back in training. Fofana's back in training. Kante's back in training. They're not playing. They can't play. Like, if they... Now, I can't confirm that, but in my opinion, they should not play. If they do play and they get injured, I'm going to be absolutely furious. Like, beyond belief, I'm going to be absolutely enraged with anger. For me, they shouldn't be anywhere near that pitch. Leave them for this match and focus on giving them the couple of weeks that we have, because we're not in the FA Cup. I think we have 13 games in between this game and Fulham. Let them train and get their fitness up, and then maybe against Fulham, we'll see them off the bench. But for me, you have to be taking it so slow with those 4 because they're so susceptible to injuries. So that's where I'm standing. But why do you need Caicedo more than we do? Because I know your midfield is aging as well. you know, Fabinho, Milner, Keita's injury prone, Chamberlain's injury prone. But
Yeah.
I've just listed off my guys as well. And
No, yours are the. Do you know what? It's probably us two that need a midfielder the most, really, in the whole league.
Yeah,
It looks like United have locked down what they start with Casemiro and Eriksen, with Bruno. Looks like Arsenal have got that on lock. City can always change in and out. They've got too many good players to mention. Even Newcastle, look at their midfield.
yeah.
Bruno, Joel Linton, and then you've got a legs man like a Willock or a Longstaff. But we don't have a legs man. The only legs man I'm seeing right now is Stefan Bajčetić, but we can't rely on him to do all of our leg work.
He's 18.
So
yeah,
Caicedo's a leg man, but he also
technically good, very good.
Is technically good. And how he's managed the work Brighton do to buy and sell is up there with the Portuguese teams, if I'm honest, in terms of the return on investment. But yeah, I would argue that we would. I mean, listen, I'm a Liverpool fan. I've been doing so many videos on midfielders recently, it pissing me off. But I think we're probably the two teams that need midfielders the most, and it is probably a straight fight between us. But I think at Liverpool we could say you're going to start a lot of games, whereas at Chelsea,
He's going to start, just.
he will start, but you do seem to rely on the old guy. Do you know what? I'm basically talking about Liverpool as well. So
I was just about to catch you out there. Literally, we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing. How much do you value him at, just before we wrap up? Because Brighton are saying 75 million plus. I personally don't think he's worth that.
Obviously not, bro. We know he's not worth that.
But also, as well, I feel like if I was to overpay, I would. Now he's a great player. I think he's got a great pass on him as well. He showed that against us. I see your dog, big old dog. Man, like, he showed that pass against us when they slapped us at the Amex. Obviously, he's winning the ball back. You saw him literally up close at the Amex. He was brilliant, right, against you guys as well on the weekend. But that feels like a profile that you could find in other areas as well. It doesn't feel like something that you have to overpay for. Whereas Enzo Fernandez, who is a player that we both wanted as well, that's a player I would overpay for, because I do think his skill set is much more. His skill set is much more rare. You'd overpay for Jude, okay?
But I think
I wouldn't overpay for Jude.
But overpaying for him is like 200. I think he's worth 125.
Okay. Or do you think he's worth that much?
Yeah. But we need two types of midfielders. We need a legs man and a box-to-box man. And I think Caicedo and Jude does that. Amrabat's there. We could go there. I'm not totally convinced on him. Enzo, I'm not too mad on missing out on.
Oh, really? You're not too mad on that? Because I'm dying for Enzo Fernandez.
Listen, I was there. I was there at Mexico, Argentina, where he turned inside and whacked that one in the top corner. I was thinking, right, who is this kid? But bro, he's played like 15 games for Benfica. Do you know what I mean? I'm not convinced by 15 games for Benfica for chatting about 130.
Okay.
My dog just looking at the skyline of Liverpool. What do you reckon? Who should we get, Gus? We need to get some Astros, G.
It's a madness. Well, listen, bro, it's an absolute pleasure.
As always, brother.
Well overdue as well. And yeah, man, please let them know where to find you, what content's coming up, the different, shows and series you've got coming out on COP TV.
So yeah, COP TV, every week we do the Hot Topics podcast. That's like our thing that we're championing the most at the moment. We do fan cams outside the ground. As you know, I'm all over DR Sports, as are you, which is a pleasure. Pretty much every Saturday I'm with you, and Monday. I've been on Sky Sports the other day, which was good to be back after a little hiatus there. Yeah, loads of other big stuff coming up.
Maybe a bit of motivation for the players as well, if you don't mind. Take that and apply it into the pitch, please, because we've been watching some disgusting performances. And we could do with either of us could do with a win. Obviously, on my side, I need that win. Alex needs his win. This will probably be ending 1-1. Yeah, it will probably end in a draw. Finally, quickly, predictions as well, actually, before I let you go.
I predict a riot. Shout out to the Kaiser Chiefs. I predict a home win. Why not? A home win. Let's go. 2-1 to Liverpool. Darwin and Gakpo to score.
Okay, I'm going to go over 2-1 Chelsea win. I don't know if I fully believe, but
how are you going to score 2 goals though?
Mudryk, that's how. Mudryk. Okay. That's the only way. A lot of pressure on young shoulders, which I'm not putting on him. I'm just saying if there's a goal to come from anyone, then I have to go with someone new.
I heard he's been flopping in training though. Have you heard?
No. He's working hard. I don't know where you got that from.
Why didn't someone say that to you, bro? That's so offensive.
Guys, make sure you subscribe. The link is in the description and in the title. And we'll see you guys in a bit. Big up, people.
Take care,
Peace.
brother.